Poetry by Becky Milner and Robin Milner.
Channel 1 is no fun.
Channel 2 is just news.
Channel 3 is hard to see.
Channel 4, just a bore.
Channel 5 is all jive.
Channel 6 needs to be fixed.
Channel 7 and Channel 8.
Just old movies, not so great.
Channel 9 is a waste of time.
Channel 10 is off, my child. Would you like to talk a while? Do you want us to move the chairs?
Now I have a little box with my quarter. Okay. Now, my lid on the box. My quarter on the top. Now, 1, 2, 3.
This time I need 2 assistants. Oh, wait till I ask you. Okay, watch your hand. Make sure it's solid and there's no holes. If you check out the rope, make sure there's no slits or anything in them. Okay? It's out right now. I want you to hold this just like that. It's real tight. Tie your ropes here. There we go. You hold that side. I want this one. Just a minute. Now hold both. Okay. Now pull real hard. Everyone's got to help me count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Right. Now, it's really on. Then you put your cup. Now I'm going to pour water. Take some off the other end. This cup.
I'm Sarah Dowling. I'm going to be the narrator. And Becky Milner's playing Mother Rabbit. And Katie Kane's playing Flopsy Rabbit. Flopsy Rabbit's played by Hillary Milner. Sarah Dosh is playing Cottontail Rabbit. Peter Rabbit's played by Mandy Dow. And Teresa Holtz is Mr. McRabbit.
Once upon a time there were 4 little rabbits, Flopsy, Flopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. With their mother rabbit they lived in a sandbank underneath the root of a big fir tree.
go into Mr. McGregor's garden.
Father, cough it, Mr. McGregor. I made into a rabbit stew.
Run along and don't get into mischief, mischief, mischief. Run along and do not misbehave. Run along, my dears. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little rabbits, went hopping down the lane. Hopping, 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 hopping down the lane. Hopping, 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 hopping down the lane. But Peter, who was a naughty rabbit, went straight to Mr. McGregor's garden. First he ate some lettuce leaves, yum, 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 yum. Then he ate some juicy peas, yum, 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 yum. Radishes and phyllo row, just how many I don't know. Then he started feeling sick, oh so sick. Poor Peter Rabbit. Just then, Mr. McGregor saw Peter in his garden and started chasing him. Stop, thief, stop, stop, thief, stop. If ever I will catch you, I'll make a rabbit stew. Stop, thief, stop, stop, thief, stop. If ever I will catch you, I'll make a rabbit stew. Peter caught his nice blue jacket in a gooseberry bush, and he lost his shoes. Some bluebirds saw him, and they tried to help. Run, Peter, run, run, Peter, run. Stop your crying, keep on trying. Run, Peter, run, run, Peter, run. Peter finally got loose, and he ran to a shed where he hid behind a watering can. After a while, when he thought he was safe, he came out and he saw a mouse walking by with a pea in her mouth. He asked her which way to the gate, but all she could do was shake her head. Poor Peter. He started to run around some more, and finally he found the gate. He crawled under the gate, and he made his way home. Mother Rabbit was home, and Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail were eating bird buns when Peter came in.
Peter, where have you been? You look very sick. Have you been to Mr. McGregor's garden? Where's your nice blue jacket and your new shoes?
I ran and got caught in a gooseberry bush, and I feel sick.
Maybe we can tell him else. You must go to bed right away.
Peter went to bed, and without any supper, but Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had blackberry, sugar, and cream. Yum, yum!
We'll now have an intermission. Okay. This is my Aunt Judy, and she's got some stuff here to introduce herself.
I'm going to talk about two things, and I can see, as I told her, that all anybody's going to want to know about is Belize. But there were like two topics that I was to talk about today. One was writing and creativity as related to children, and especially in your case, homeschooling, because I'm also a writer. So the way the presentation was going to go today is we were going to start out with a little bit about creativity and writing in children. And then part two was going to be more about Belize. So you'll just have to let me know. If I'm boring you with the creativity stuff, we'll just stop it and we can go on and talk a little more about Belize, because it sounds to me like you have most of your questions about that. The reason why Robin asked me to talk about this is she said that even though you in your homeschooling situations think that creativity is very important, you're usually told by the powers that be that you need to do more practical things like math and writing and, grammar and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my work in Belize as related to creativity, because although I am a nurse, and later on when we start talking a little bit about Belize, I'll tell you more about my nursing angle there, because that's what I do there and so on. I've also realized, especially in working in the context there, that one of the reasons that we see a lot of problems in the country and in the school system is because the school system there doesn't foster creativity at all. It's a very rigid system. And I think you all know, I don't have to tell you, you all, that's why you're homeschooling your kids, and I think you're probably better experts on that than I am in terms of why you're homeschooling your kids. What I wanted to do, though, is just start out with a little bit about what I see creativity is. And then we're going to read a little bit from a couple other books. This is, I just recently had 2 poems published in, this is called Creation Fire. It's a Caribbean women's poetry anthology. And what they did is, this is a group of women in Trinidad who put out the call all over the Caribbean and asked women in the Caribbean to submit poetry. And they were overwhelmed at the response because, as I said, the school systems in Belize and in the Caribbean in general don't foster creativity at all. So they were absolutely amazed to get this, like they had like 5 times as many poems. And so they were overwhelmed and they were able to put together this pretty large volume of Caribbean women's poetry. I was lucky enough to have 2 poems published in here, and I'm going to actually read one to you in a little while because I think it says something about the school system. And they did a little review on the book, and this is called The Journey. This is the newsletter of the organization that I work with. And they were kind of proud that I was a nurse with the organization, so they wrote this. So I just want to read a little bit. It says, Creation Fire, an anthology of poetry written by Caribbean women, features a number of poets from Belize. One of these poets is our very own Judy, the center nurse coordinator at our Punta Gorda clinic. That's where I live. Nurse Barrett is a member of the International Women's Writing Guild and feels that it has been her greatest encourager. I write mainly because I have to, says Miss Barrett. I guess every writer says this. For 20 years, I put writing on the back burner of my life, but I am sorry I did.